Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. Let's be clear on something. There is a distinction between the people who exist within a government structure versus the government itself. Meaning, Donald Trump may be president, Donald Trump may be accumulating a bunch of maniacs around him in order to run the government, but that is a far cry from the people within the government themselves. Bashar al-Assad may be a bad guy, but that is not necessarily indicative of each and every person that's in that government. Whatever you want to think about Vladimir Putin, that is not representative of each and every person in that government. Who people are, meaning the people who live there, the number of billions, how many ever live in a country, is not the same thing as the government itself. I'm making this point that just because a government may be bad, just because a government may have bad effects throughout the globe, that is not necessarily reflective of the people that exist in that government itself. That's kind of what I want to get across. We have this way of denigrating other people in the same way we're using Russians right now as pejorative, and we use this in order to attack Corbyn and Sanders and any other particular policy that we don't particularly like, saying the Russians are involved in it. We're denigrating who they are. We're making light of this thing of spending 2 years in this hyper-partisan way of attacking Vladimir Putin and Russians for being Russians. Beforehand, it used to be we were attacking them for being communists. At this point, no, we're now getting to the direct root of the individual themselves and saying that those people are somehow bad and problematic, and just being associated with one is somehow a thing to be tarred by. This is problematic, and this will have wider consequences. A video was released, a secret video, showing that Blue Helmets, an Austrian group, sent a group of policemen, Syrian policemen, to their deaths. Essentially, there were a bunch of smugglers who they saw on a hilltop. They knew those smugglers were ready to ambush the people who came by. They gave directions to those Syrian cops, at one point referring to them as dogs and knowing full well that they were going to be attacked. And they watched and videotaped them as they were attacked and killed. Can we not denigrate one another? Can we not denigrate one another? That's the video.
Hvor er det sjovere for en person? Hvor er det unter sein højre?
Wir haben am vergangenen Mittwoch ein braunes Kuvert zugestellt bekommen von einem unbekannten Whistleblower. Und darin sind Videodateien, Fotos und auch ein Schreiben. Und sie schildern einen sehr erschreckenden Fall, der sich am Golan zugetragen hat, im Jahr 2012 unter der Verantwortung österreichischer UNO-Blauhelme.
Ich mache wieder. Ausgehört war ein erster Schuss? Nein, das war schon ein Schuss.
Und zwar sieht man auf diesen Bildern und diesen Videos, dass die Österreicher syrische Schmuggler dabei filmen, wie sie im Gebirge, im Grenzgebirge zwischen Israel und Syrien einen Hinterhalt aufbauen. Und eine Stunde später filmen die Österreicher einen weißen Toyota, der in diesen Hinterhalt hineinfährt. Aber um dort hineinzukommen, muss dieser weiße Toyota einen österreichischen Wachposten passieren. Und in diesem weißen Toyota sitzen syrische Geheimpolizisten, die die Österreicher kennen. Die steigen aus am Wachposten, unterhalten sich mit den Österreichern und die Österreicher winken diese Polizisten am Wachposten vorbei.
No, das war klar. Ja, ja. Thank you. Sonne! Normal musst du sagen, weil wenn da einer überbleibt, dann kommt Bombe und schießt um so.
Und man hört auf den Videos, dass die Soldaten davon ausgehen, dass es jetzt bald krachen wird und dass diese syrischen Polizisten ermordet werden. Und das passiert dann auch.
Jetzt geht's gerade. Oh, der ist schon runtergefallen. Also. Boah, Tote sind schon, ja.
Keiner überlebt, der hat gerade Flop los. Einer lebt, glaube ich, auch noch. Ja, aber der überlebt es nicht.
That's an odd segue from something that's just ghastly and horrific, and grossly immoral, to a dog just barking away. Look, these were UN troops that allowed this to take place. This saw the Syrians. They talked to those Syrian officers. They knew those Syrian officers were going into the ambush. They allowed them to go into the ambush, and they watched, at one point calling them dogs, as they get murdered, I guess, like dogs. I'm not going to keep this video long. I guess my feeling is I can't help, in some part, but thinking that part of the reason that they're okay with this and calling them dogs is because of the way, from the West standpoint, we look at this stuff. Oh, Bashar al-Assad is a horrible guy. He has a horrible government. I understand that, but by extension, it doesn't necessarily mean that the Syrians themselves are horrible people. And yet, this seems to be this kind of idea that is in the head, or the very least, in this kind of Western idea of things. Look, if you can't control your troops, those troops shouldn't be in Syria. That's what it boils down to. You have people, UN peacekeepers, supposedly peacekeepers, allowing people to get murdered. There needs to be consequences of this. They need to be prosecuted for this. This is murder. They stood by and watched as people got murdered and joked about it as it took place. This is a big fucking deal. What is the UN's responsibility in the world? And it is the UN's responsibility in the world to have people who are out there acting like this. In one case of the UN, you had these kind of sex slaves, or having sex with all of these women, giving money and things in these kind of war-torn countries, or these countries, Haiti, after the earthquakes and everything else. You're supposed to be in that country helping those people, and you're using those people for sex. And in this case, your people, again, UN, I would imagine you do nice things around the world, but in this case, it doesn't seem you have control over the people who you have doing this job. That's fucking horrific. That's fucking horrific. There need to be prosecutions for this. That should not be allowed to pass. And the fact that allowing that to pass would allow the next crime like this to take place again. Great job for the whistleblower that passed this along. Let's hope that something comes of it. The fact that this person risked whatever they risked to pass this along. Ended on that. Alright guys, if you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, Patreon. Thanks everyone.